I just wanted to let everybody know that we can take yourself off mute if you want to talk. We can.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, Stan.
Very marvelous, very great job. It came out very nice, and I'm very excited. You know, it was a well-rounded video, represented the family. I want everyone else to know that we are not done. We are just getting started with the Edna Griffin Foundation, and we plan on doing some things with you, Tiffany Pyramid Theater, and doing a lot of stuff to enlighten people, you know, about what's going on. For instance, hey, voter registration. My mother was into that big, so don't think everyone's going to get rid of me because I'm in Atlanta. We're coming back.
Right of his squad.
So, anybody else want to say something?
Yeah, go ahead. Whatever.
Thanks.
What was the impact outside of Iowa on from this case?
I can speak to that.
Hi, Phyllis.
Hi, Stanley.
Yeah, go ahead. Speak to that, sis.
Yeah, Katz Drug Store got a confrontation from the King family when Leo King was in Kansas City with his nephews. They walked into the grocery store, into the Katz Drug Store, and they were about not to be served. And Leo confronted the owner of the store and basically said, "Would you like to be taken to court like Katz was taken to court in Des Moines, Iowa?" And they backed down immediately.
And Phyllis, according to you, you were saying that mother was also known internationally. She had an international following also of her story, and she was in Europe with the Women's Organization for Peace and Freedom in Rotterdam as well. So there's a little bit known about her internationally as well.
As far as Africa, I was in a conference room at DePaul University, and a professor who I had known for about a year suddenly turned to me as we were waiting for the meeting to begin and said, "Your last name is Griffin, isn't it?" I went, "Yes." "Aren't you from Iowa?" "Yes." "By any chance, would you be related to Edna Griffin?" He was a professor of African studies from Africa. And I looked at him and said, "How would you know my mother?" He said, "Oh, we know about her in Africa. She's in books."
Wow.
Do you know if there are any German connections? Did Miss Edna ever go to Germany? Do you know by any chance?
I think she was in, she might have been, no, not Dresden. Stuttgart. She was in Stuttgart, Germany, to see my sister in Carmen. But it was nothing, I mean, it was about art and culture.
Did she speak there? Was she active in any way? Do you know, or did she just visit family?
I think she was just there to visit my sister, who was on tour. My father spoke a little bit of German, taught us a little bit of German, and that was about all we know in terms of our attachments to Germany.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Mother also spoke fluent French, and she helped me make it through my French classes on top of that. I mean, you know, she was truly an international being. I mean, and that's what she instilled in us, that the world was bigger than like New Hampshire, where she is from, or Des Moines, Iowa, because she was a blessing, because we didn't have a lot of in Des Moines at the time, we didn't have a lot of role models that we were seeing, like on TV, plays and stuff like that. And we didn't realize this, but we're so blessed with the upbringing she gave us. The books behind me are W.E.B. Du Bois, Frederick Douglass, Nikki Giovanni, and stuff like that. And we just read this. This was just what we did. I mean, it was so rich and full. We met Miriam Makeba. She'd take us to see Dick Gregory. We went to Grinnell to go see Martin Luther King speak, and just stuff like that. And I mean, it was a valuable experience that I think helped all of us kids react with the world today. I mean, I feel very blessed for that. And otherwise, because if you didn't have interaction with people, you know, if we didn't have with different people, we would not know what to do. And I was going to tell you one other story, that something I did not know in my research. Mother used to take young kids from the neighborhood out to country towns to have lunch, and to interact with people in small Iowa towns. And I just happened to we got some feedback from Karen Whitney, a good friend of ours, who said it changed her life. She was interacting with them, and she saw that, you know, we are all very similar. And this is something I didn't know about Mother that she did. And evidently she was doing this on a regular basis. And another thing that she used to do is with Mary Campos, she used to go over to the South Side and teach immigrants English. At night, she would go over there and teach them English. So she was always on the move, like Miss Irvine was stating. She was always doing something in the community, and it's just amazing. And that's why I said I'm researching, and we're going to be writing a book about what made her have that drive to be so committed to the community. You know, that's a question I do want to answer. So, but she was quite the person, quite the intellect, and no one, I think people, when they first start talking to her, they realize who they were dealing with. I mean, she was such an intellect and can carry on any type of conversation with anybody she's talking to. And I think it kind of overwhelmed people at a time. And but Phyllis can say this also. She was so warm. Every kid, all my friends who came into the house, she treated them like family. I'd be partying somewhere downstairs. They'd be upstairs talking to my mother for hours. And I come up, they says, "Your mother is the greatest." And that was great. I love my mother.
I have one question, and maybe this was covered and I missed it. Did she work, or was she staying at home? And also, what was her degree in when she studied at Fisk?
Well, maybe Phyllis can answer that, but yes, she worked. She was appointed the Chamber of Commerce. She was the director of urban affairs. She was appointed director of urban affairs at one time, but she did not work much. A lot of what she was, as you may know, she was very controversial on top of that. And luckily our dad was self-employed. So, I mean, she wrote a column in the Iowa Bystander, different strokes for different folks. And she used to talk about everybody in there. Even us kids were going, now I'm young, but I'm looking at this stuff and going, "Mother, you didn't just say that, did you?" Yes, she challenged everybody, no matter who they were. And so it made us a little uncomfortable, but I'm glad it did, because I think it's incorporated in our personalities today, that we know that you have to, when you see something wrong, you have to speak up and talk about it. And it's not easy. If you think about in the 40s, 50s, here's this lady from New York, the East Coast. She shows up there, and I don't even think all of the Black community embraced her immediately, because she was just too bold. She was too bold with what she was saying. And one thing at Katz, I want to give you a little flavor for Mother, because she went to Katz, and I'm reading information that was wrote in a lot of articles where she went into Katz. She said first of all, she was amazed that Blacks were not served there, but they were more amazed about the Blacks that were in there. They went about their business. A lot of people just accepted the fact that they go to the counter, order the food, and take it out of the building to eat. Just like it was just common occurrence. She said that hurt her the most. So she was bound and determined, which evidently the first time she walked in there, we're not going to have this. And she organized. The beautiful thing, it was a cross-functional group of people, whites, Black, no violence. And one thing that I think I was talking about, but they cut that out of the interview I did, that everything she did was strategic. She had a strategy for everything she did. So when she approached something, anything she did, she had thought it out, what was going to happen, who she was going to have when she started it. And that's what I love. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out, who is this woman? And at the same time, I played cello. She promoted us kids playing instruments. We all play. I played cello.
Your hands
I
raised.
played all through high school, and she was my accompanist on the cello, and we played in all city orchestra. We went to hear the Des Moines Symphony and the Playhouse, and we went to the Art Center. We took classes at the Art Center, and to us that seemed to be quite normal. But when we step out of the Griffin household, it was quite different. But it gave us a rich understanding of the community and that. And I got to hang out with Cliff. I see Cliff's on the line, Mr. Cliffy Cliff. Hi there, Cliff. I mean, all of our friends, D'Artagnan Brown, we're all brothers. It's really true. Someone called me just a couple of days ago that I was in school with in 9th grade and was stating that, that's the way we feel, that all these people, and we've come a long ways from moving in at night at 44th Street to being very close friends with people right now. But I'll shut up and other people can talk.
Oh, really?
We have Penny Ferguson talk.
Hi, Penny.
Well, hi. This really brings tears to my eyes because Edna was a staunch supporter of Gateway Dance Theater. We just thought we were going to last a year, and 1973, we did a little program with the neighborhood folks that everybody joined in. We gave free classes. We had no idea that you couldn't take classes in the commercial studios for people of color. Anyway, Edna was at that program, and she wrote me a note and said, "This is a miracle." And we got to be real tight friends from then on. And she was a staunch supporter of the arts and what we were doing. And we would go to meetings. We'd be called whenever they needed a person of color to be there. And so Edna and I would go, said, okay, we'll provide that, but they're going to hear about us. But we owe a lot to the Griffin family. And I got a job at Katz, and I know it was due to Edna, but I didn't know anything about her. They didn't ever hire people of color, but I was the first professional that they got. So I'm very thankful to Edna, and I want to be part of the Griffin Foundation, please. Thank you.
I think it's time that we have to wrap this up. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So our cutoff time is 5 o'clock. So I just want to thank everyone so much. You did a fabulous job, everybody. And hopefully we can keep all this conversation going after the fact. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, everybody.
Good job.
Thanks, Dan.
Hi, family. That's Leslie.
Hi, Stan.
Hi, everybody. Hey, like I used to say, peace, love, and happiness to the community, and we're all family. And believe me, you're going to see Tiffany, I, and probably Claudia working in the future to make it happen. So anything I can do, if everyone needs to contact me, you can get my information. But as I said, I'll be back.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Bye, Phyllis.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Phyllis.
Down at the bottom there, you have a leave.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I hope a lot of kids can start to see this and it can show them what they can become.
That's
Absolutely.
great. It's great for kids. And thank you, everyone. Thank you to the Griffins, Stanley, Linda, Phyllis, all of you. It's wonderful. What an example for this time.
Thank you.